Esper here with the Race 3 highlights. The competition was back in Microtech, but this time out on the moon of Clio, where racers were ready to take on the pipes of Snake Pit. The first two bottlenecks kept the racers in a tight pack for the start of the race. Without the boost on the RC, the competition was bumper to bumper going through the first pipe with no chance of anyone passing like we saw last year. After the third lap, we finally saw Punch Nomies gain a 13-second lead on the lead pack, made up of Catcom Alpha, Blackhawks, Venture Origins, and Amarok's Fang. The battle was on for the points positions, and the racers could feel the pressure, but it was Ludox of Blackhawks who pulled ahead of Catcom Alpha in the fourth lap to keep that second place position and gain some ground on that lead pack. Flawless with his lines through the Snake Pit, Herbie finished first with a time of 30 minutes and 14 seconds. And by lap 5, the lead pack had broken apart. Blackhawks finished second with a time of 31 minutes and 23 seconds, putting another 18 points on the board. Not far behind was Catcom Alpha, finishing at 31 minutes and 46 seconds, securing themselves a third place finish. With race 3 in the rearview mirror, Punch Nomies has a commanding lead on our racers, except for Blackhawks, who's staying right in his dust cloud waiting for him to slip up in one of these races. Will Herbie be able to break 100 points on the scoreboard this year? Will any of our racers make a surprise jump up the leaderboard? Stay tuned for more System 7 action.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the System 7 Race 4 and 5 presented by Equinox. I am back, baby. Crucian Gaming is back on the desk. But hey, Meyer, nice to see you back again this week. How you been, man?
Yeah, it's good to be back, and it's good to see you as well. I've been good. I've been following so much with 323, man. I haven't had any sleep, so no changes here.
Are you getting those nightmare sweats about 323 and when it releases? Is that what we're happening?
Yeah, man. I mean, like with custom lobbies and everything else, with engineering, there's a lot to be excited for. So I'm just, yeah, Like right now, before we went live, I was editing videos, man. Like it's been just
Awesome.
nonstop. Yeah.
Awesome, man. It's been a grind for a lot of creators out there, though. It starts us in 3-2-3 on the horizon. But, to kind of jump in that before we jump into the System 7 overall, I'll talk a little bit about how excited I am for custom lobbies. Obviously, it's not fully fleshed out. There's no spectator mode just yet. But to have those back, for us to be able to make some tournaments, in custom lobbies makes me very excited for, what's to come for the community and what we're going to be capable of in terms of tournament here at ATMO Esports. So very excited for that. But anything else that really, obviously the whole entire patch is incredible, but anything specific that you're really looking forward to, Meyer?
So I've been spending a lot of time on the engineering gameplay. There's an experimental mode in the Star Marine, or in the Arena Commander, portion of the game. And I've been doing just non-stop testing all the engineering stuff. I've been playing with people like Salty, like getting a huge crew together and seeing what they're doing. And it's super promising. Like, it's not a main feature for 323, but it is still just amazing. I'm looking forward to that so much.
Awesome. Well, that's great to hear. Looking forward to that. I know that is upon the horizon. A lot of people are excited for Star Citizen 323. So if you haven't tried in the EPTU yet, all I'm suggesting, if you have that access, jump in there. It's absolutely incredible. I've seen, the animals so far. I'm liking how they're tweaking master modes currently. So everything to me is going pretty well, and I think they're doing a good job at adjusting everything that's happening with 323. I know we're not going to get some things until after, 323.3, but I'm still very happy that that stuff is still coming as soon as that patch launches. But before we jump into System 7, just want to say it's nice to see you all again. Happy to be back here. I've been a little bit on the social media grind on the back end, working with the team. So while Kroncy and Meyer have been holding it down, I've been grateful for that. I've been able to push more social media content out during the races. So, but too happy to be back here, Meyer, and happy to bring this energy back onto the races. But before we do that, Meyer, we have a race next weekend called the Beacon 250. I'll let you kind of jump in there. Let's go check out the track. And Meyer, just break that down for us a little bit.
All right, so there is the Beacon 250 track. I believe this is a race that is being hosted by the Beacon Convention peeps. It's happening on May the 4th. And even though it says 2954, that is, of course, just a week's time from now. I'm going to be participating in this, and this is in their run-up, or their road to. They're following, it looks like a good pattern here, because we did something similar last year to Beacon, which I'll be as well. But essentially, it's going to be a 3-lap race around Microtech on hover quads, which means that my goal is to try not to become dead last, I think, or to try not to explode for once, I think is going to be my goal.
Hey, I believe in you, Meyer. Get out there. You still have a week. Get on that hover quad. Get a feel for it. But no, this race is actually very awesome. Even though it says 80 kilometers per lap, it was a little bit over 80 kilometers, but we rounded that down a little bit. But the total, why is it called a Beacon 250, is because it is 250 kilometers around. Are going to be able to just, if they feel like that hover quad is too damaged, they can stop in the pit lane, grab a different hover quad, and continue the race, Meyer. So you're going to get to experience a little bit of that new pit lane style for the Beacon 250. And then the week after, which is going to be May 10th and 11th, Beacon is going to be live in Liège, Belgium. You guys can go ahead and check out, Beacon on socials. They have tickets still available. And if you guys, that whole app is still available. And if you guys, that whole ATMO team's going to be there. Maya's going to be there. We're going to have a lot of different creators. Harada, Water Patat. So we're going to have a lot of different creators and a lot of people there. Hugo Slower, I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry. I probably chopped that up. But guys, hope to see the European community at Beacon. And, and like you said, Meyer, you'll be there. So hopefully we get to share a beer during that busy time. So
that's right. I'm going to be there representing the English speakers. So, yeah, hopefully I'll get a word in with some devs and stuff too. Yeah.
No, it should be a good time. I believe you have also Chris Roberts and Sandy is going, and a few of the other devs. So very excited to see the whole community once again. I love these events, man. Coming together with the community is absolutely incredible, man. Everybody always gives us feedback about the events, and we get to learn so much more about what the community wants in terms of events. So hope to see you guys there if you are going in Europe. So, but our next external event we have, and we change the dates to June 8th, is going to be the Avenger Squadron Flight for Kids charity tournament. And I haven't been able to talk much about this because I haven't been on. But Meyer, this is going to be one of the biggest events of the year, in my opinion, for ATMO Esports. We have 24 creators going on a 3v3 matchup head-to-head. We got some incredible creators that are ready. Everybody has been excited for Massimo since it has been tweaked and changed a little bit. Obviously, still looking for some improvements, but we are going to be raising money for Sick Kids Children Hospital and trying to get some gaming go-karts from Gamers Outreach into that hospital, so that way kids have a way to be able to play some games instead of just being there, and sometimes they have no recreation. Sometimes they have to stay in their rooms because during certain treatments they can't be out with other kids. So they'll be able to be while they're getting treatment, play some games, have a good time. They can log on online if the hospital lets them, and they'll be able to play with their friends at home, making them feel that sense of normalcy and be able to kind of, it's just a good vibe to just kind of do this. So I'm very excited for this charity tournament, and we hope to see you guys there on June 8th, 2954. It's going to be a great one, so I'm very excited for this one, Meyer.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I've said it before, but, I've been a sick kid myself. And back when, I was like, 10, 11, I was in recovery, and there was a similar like go-kart thing there. And I remember that being a huge thing for the kids in the hospital, just having something to do, while trying to get better. So it's a really awesome thing that Avenger Squadron and, of course, ATMO Esports are doing here for this Flight for Kids tournament.
Yep. It's going to be awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, June 8th, make sure you guys are tuning in. Make sure we're going to have tons of giveaway from a lot of partners. We're working with Track IR, Thrustmaster. We're working with CIG. We will have a lot of celebration and giveaways going throughout the day. So I'm very excited for this one. So we hope to see you guys there participating and hopefully being part of the fundraiser and changing these kids' lives for the better. So with that being said, Meyer, I think we'll jump right into talking about last week and talking a little bit about what happened during race number 3 of the System 7. Let's take a quick look at the standings. And Meyer, I'll let you go at it and let me know what were your thoughts and highlights of last week's or last 2 weeks or race 3's events.
Well, so the last time we were here for race 3, we were at the Snake Pit, and I have to say that was a very interesting way to take that track. We took it in reverse, and we had the Tumbrel Cyclones over the pipe as well, which was one of the more interesting, how would you say, track hazards I've ever seen on ATMO Esports. We had, of course, Punchnomi's Black Oak and Capcom Alpha securing first, second, and third. Punchnomi's there were in such a very commanding lead from almost the get-go there. I think all teams had a very valiant play and a really cool, just general go at this track. We did see a couple, however, drop out as they weren't able to stay on, of course, that pipe again. But not for nothing, Crucian, it was a really cool event.
Yeah, something that we haven't mentioned much, and I really want to mention this time around, is that we have, right, out of the 16 teams that have came back, right, we have only, I believe it's 7 that are returning, Meyer, and we have 9 new teams that have, came out to play here in the System 7 2954 season, and I just want to give those teams a shout out because not many teams, normally we would see a lot more of returning teams back, Meyer, instead of new teams. So, like, we have Lease Motorsports, Argo Novice, Adventure Origins, Garden Racing, who really did really well during the Daymar Rally previously this year. And then we have Star Prime Racing, who's also a new team, Novak Racing, Eva Ria Racing, we have Wildcards Racing, and then SPG Racing. So we have so many new teams this, this season. And even though a lot of these teams are still a little bit behind the pack, I just want to say that there's still a lot of racing to go. I think these 2 races, happening today, Meyer, are going to be critical. So any of these teams, they can win a couple back-to-back races and literally jump up from the leaderboard from a 16th place all the way to a top 6 spot very, very easily. So All I'm going to say is that, best of luck to all the teams today. But, let's jump right into race number 4 here, Meyer, because this is one of our new courses. Anything interested for you, Meyer, that you've really enjoyed from any of the new courses this year?
Well, I mean, so for race 4 in particular, I mean, like, just looking at it, it's going to be one of our first 2-track of the day, and it's in Horizon, and it's actually a completely different track from the one that I remember, the Cloud Chasers one. Cargo Crisis here, as you can see, is featuring one of CIG Montreal's offerings to the verse. I believe this is like kind of off on the Providence platform. A very interesting place, because who would have gone here? Like, they've done so much work with the set dressing of these cities, and it's really cool to be able to like put one of these to good use. But what people will not be able to see from this particular angle, and is something that I'm going to be watching for, Crucian, is turn number 1. You can see right there that the contestants will all 16 races start down that slope and take a sharp left, an almost 90-degree turn. However, if they don't turn sharp enough, if they try and go a bit wide to try and avoid all the other cars, well, on the other side, not 20 meters away from that turn, is a sheer drop into the surface with all the space whales, Crucian.
Hey, all I'm going to say is that hopefully teams, I'm going to mention it here, and during race number 3, a lot of teams, some teams gave up because they couldn't go across the pipe. Hey, it's all about practice here, right? If you know you need to slow down at a turn, if you know you need to be able to take those lines that you normally take, right? You've been probably racing by yourself. Now, when you have all these racers are going to be getting down this ramp, but they have, I would say, a pretty good stretch to be able to form that line to see who's going into that first bend, to see who's going to be able to take that first turn. But hopefully we don't see people fly off the platform. But, it's never a missed opportunity for some of these racers, Meyer.
Yeah, I mean, like, we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, though, however, you did mention that, like, well, with our top 16 racers that are going to be racing here today, they didn't just come here from nowhere, Crucian. They had to qualify. So these are some of the best ground vehicle racers in the entire game. So, not for nothing, we might see somebody like, clip and crash and fly through. However, I'm pretty sure they've done the work, and we're going to see them all the way through. And that's me talking here, because I don't think the STV is that explosive, but I think that maybe perhaps somebody will prove me wrong, Crucian.
Yep. Well, before we go into look at race number 5, we haven't had the chance to kind of, go through. You guys see I'm wearing the Day Morale merch, but we haven't been able to release our System 7 merch yet. We've been going through approvals, but hopefully by next week, we should have the System 7 a collection ready to go. So we want to share that with you guys right now. This is the new System 7 2954 collection that will be available here, I would say by sometime next week. We'll announce it on our Discord. So if you guys are not in our Discord, discord.gg/ATMO Esports, make sure you guys come there. But we were able to finally kind of get the finalization of the design, and then hopefully get these approved by the team, so that way we can get that pushed out. So we'll announce it in Discord again. So sorry for the delay, guys. We've been a little bit behind on a few things, but the System 7 merch collection should be available soon. So with that being said, let's jump right into race number 5, Meyer. We're coming back here to the BTR course, and something that I'll mention here is that this is not going to be the same, right? This is going to be something different, because you have now 3 other racers along with yourself to be racing on the BTR track. Kind of give me a little bit of a rundown how that's going to change from the qualifiers, because you're racing by yourself. Now you're racing with 3 other people, Meyer.
Well, Crucian, simply put, things are going to be warming up, because we're going to be in heats. We're going to be having races of 4 contestants each go. And, well, if you guys remember the initial qualifiers, where we had our racers just go around the course by themselves doing a time trial, trying to get the fastest time, you would notice that, like, when it comes down to it, most racers have a very similar line. They kind of know exactly where they want to go and how they should do it, and it's tailored to a T, to a craft. When you go ahead and you go up against 3 other racers, well, now the entire game changes, because, well, first of all, the PTVs are so volatile. They're one of the most explosive ground vehicles in this current build of the game. But secondly, well, what happens when you have a line that you know is the most optimal, and you're the most practiced at it, and then somebody else has that exact same line? do you make room for them, or do you just keep gunning for it and hope they pull back? It's going to be really interesting to see what happens, and whoever takes that line first, whoever gets that lead, will be in a good place, because otherwise you're going to be shoulder to shoulder on roads that are barely at points 2 car lengths wide. So we'll see.
Yeah, the best way I can put it this way, I've watched this movie quite a few times, the Gran Turismo, what he's telling him in that part where he's telling him to, commit,
That's
this
right.
is going to be that moment, right? You're going to have to commit to some of these turns because you have other people trying to use those same lines, trying to cut those corners just as tight as you are in order to come out on top. Because remember, move on to that winner's final, and then you have that second place of every heat is going to move up to that runner-up finals, and that's how those points get created. So you need to be able to come out on top on your race in order to be able to move on and hopefully land a lot of those leaderboard points. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. Obviously, the Cargo Crisis, the new one, I'm looking forward to that one, but I'm very much looking forward to finally seeing multiple racers on the BTR course with the PTV Grey Cat this time around, Meyer. It's going to be, I think, a very exciting 2 races. How do we say, double header, double whammy today here for the System 7.
Double whammy
very much. Yep. So definitely looking forward to it today. It's gonna be very exciting. I'm looking forward to see which racers have put in the time these past 2 weeks in order to get those points on the leaderboard this time around, Meyer.
That's right. I cannot wait. But speaking of, I mean, we did mention before about consistency and how these races have to practice, because again, when it comes down to it, each and every single race that you do here gives you a chance to earn points. And I'm gonna be jumping the gun here, but yeah, I think that if Punch Nomi's comes first, well, I mean, they have 2 choices as well. They have two chances, right? With the Cloud Chasers, or sorry, the Cargo Crisis, and now with the BTR racetrack. All our races are going to have 2 opportunities to get some points. So by the end of this evening, Crucian, we might have 1 team, maybe 2, or perhaps even some of our underdogs pushing right the way through to the front.
Yes, that's what we're hoping for this time around. Like I said, hopefully they put in that time and put in that practice in order to come back here and be able to put in the time that they needed. Because a lot of these tracks, for me, especially the BTR track, are a lot of tracks where some of these new teams that qualify in Meyer and did really, really well in getting those, 118s and 117s during the qualifiers. So hopefully they can put out something the same with other people in the track, because that changes completely. But let's jump into our, I believe this is going to be for May 18th is when we're going to have race number 6. So let's go over to race number 6. And this has been a very interesting race for me, because this is the first time that we're going to be using the RSI link here on Lyria. And this is a great track because it's the RSI link is just as fast as the Cyclone RC. It's, the acceleration after it gets a bump is pretty well. Obviously, there's still a lot of, them working on the ground vehicle physics, and hopefully we can get that into a better place. But very much looking forward to seeing how these teams are going to be able to push this RSI links to the limit here, Meyer.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be one of the closest races we have, color palette notwithstanding, to the Daymar Rally. This is a 10-lap race over SPL 21 in Lyria. And yeah, I can't wait to see it, because it's not every single day you get to see an RSI Lynx in the first place. And then again, of course, with so many racers trying to take out a course like this. But the Lynxes, the RSI vehicles are a lot more reliable, should we say. So I think this is going to be more about who has the best control over the vehicle, who has these lines down to a T, because this is a very reliable vehicle.
Yeah, and you can see it around checkpoint 3. There are 2 different ways that you can actually cut that corner. But remember that if you haven't practiced yet, one is going to be more riskier than the other if you do know how to maneuver through this course. So, yeah, so very much looking forward to this one and seeing what racers and what they're going to be doing, throughout this race in order to kind of, gain that lead and gain that, that advantage. And something that I'll say, right, like right now for our standings, we have a lot of teams, especially in the top 3, that are very close. So, like races like very these, close. Even though it's race 6, like some of these other teams that are, in place 10 through 16, Meyer, could be those people that if they win, they can definitely block other teams from moving up forward and and kind of blocking them from taking that trophy home. So, to me, regardless of where I'm at on the leaderboard, I will always try my best to, to come out on top because, I really would love to see a full rumbling on the leaderboard towards the end of System 7 this year.
That's right. I mean, this is race 4 and 5. We are now halfway through the racetracks now of the System 7. So there is still a chance here for our underdog racers. Those are the few points to starve the points from the lead and make their way to the front and change the whole course of this event. Today is going to really kind of signify, like who is going to be the hopefuls for the podium in the end, Crucian.
Yep. All right, well, let's jump right into the last race of the season. It's going to be, I believe, on May 25th, Saturday, May 25th at 1900 UTC. We have back our Lorville Loop Finals, and this is a race where, you're using 4 different vehicles. Using that Tumbro Cyclone RC, you're using that Grey Cat PTV, you're using the Dragonfly, and then you're using that RSI Rover as well. And this is one that I love every single year, and now with the new Lorville out there, Meyer, this race is more beautiful than ever. So definitely looking forward to this one. Awesome race where, the racers or the competitors have to change their vehicles at every other gate. And this one's definitely going to be, an awesome one to see again this year. But I feel like, I don't know, Meyer, it is called a System 7 for a reason. So maybe when Pyro comes out, we come up with a new final race for next year's System 7 if Pyro's out at that time. So, you never know.
That's true. I mean, like with Pyro, we're going to have so many more areas, so many more options. We're going to be spoiled for choice as to where to race in that location. We don't know about any like true hero locations, in the same vein as cities and such. However, just from the Pyro Playground, there are so many just awesome environments with amazing elevations and things. I'm sure that, the ATMO team is going to be able to find something to race on. That's for sure.
Hey, we're looking forward to it. I mean, with everything is going on right now, and I'm not sure if you just saw, but we have 7 or 8 new races, ship races in Arena Commander. So I'm hoping that as much ship races we're putting into Arena Commander, we can hopefully get the same level of ground races here in the future. I've seen a lot of people doing a lot of Gravlev runs in the Arena Commander, which has been a lot of fun. I've tried it in the EPTU myself, but I'm definitely looking forward to it here. But Meyer, let's go ahead and take a look at the leaderboard points chart, so that way we can break it down a little bit, because I want people to kind of understand. So if you are landing here in first place, you are landing 25 points, second place 18 points, third place 12 points, etc. And it just kind of goes down into that F1 style points system that we use. And if racers if racers, I guess, fall out of the race and they're only about 60 to 70% finished with the race, then they get a portion of the points delivered to them depending on if the race is over and which place they finish, Meyer. So, but I mean, the structure this year has been great so far. I know I definitely have been, every year we get some awesome feedback. So I know that as the game gets in that better loop, I saw how server meshing has been working lately as well. So, I can't wait till we get all those races together with more and more people, especially like the Daymar Rally, etc. Meyer.
I don't think the word is reservations, right? But, with server meshing and the Daymar Rally, I mean, we've seen them try and test 400 and then 800 player servers, with varying results, right? Like, I can't even fathom what it's going to be like to have, 200, 300 different Ursa rovers, trying to kick up some dust on Daymar. It's going to be ridiculous, Crucian, man.
It's going to be a takeover. That's what I call it. So, with that being said, let's take a quick look at what these teams are currently fighting for. If they come out in the top 3 of the System 7 this year. Meyer, I'll let you take it away here with this tournament pricing.
All right, on the screen right now are the prizes for the System 7. So it's not just props and accolades, but it's actually, we have some physical things as well as digital items as well. So our leading team, our number 1, our champion of the System 7, will be taking home a first place trophy, the team captain, or I suppose maybe perhaps they'll draw straws, will take home that trophy. Then, of course, each team member will take home their own System 7 jacket as well, which I do hope they're going to be taking to things like CitizenCon as well to show off to the world, they have the skills where it counts. However, they'll also take home one C2 Hercules for their group, as well as a Rover Lynx as well from Ursa. Second place will be taking home, of course, a second place trophy, who'da thunk it, as well as team jerseys that are going to be personalized, not only with the System 7 2954, however, also with their names, etc. And they'll be taking home a Origin Jumpworks 400i and an X1 Velocity to take along with them for the ride as well. Third place will be taking home a third place trophy, as well as their own personalized jerseys and a CO Nomad, as well as a hoverquad combo.
Hey, that should be. Hey, I mean, I hope teams are excited. Hopefully, they can win. And by the way, I did want to mention that these jerseys are the older ones from last year. We will be replacing them with a new one. And have this graphic updated by next week. But Meyer, I think that let's take a look at the System 7 merch collection one more time before we jump into our views today. But they should be able to, if they want to be representing at CitizenCon, make sure you guys grab the merch. But this is the merch that they're going to be getting. Right here, instead of the one that you saw on the pricing sheet. So this will be available starting next week. So again, we'll be announcing that on Discord. So make sure you guys join us on our Discord at discord.gg/ATMO Esports. And if, hey, you really love what we're doing at ATMO Esports and you really are enjoying some of the races, enjoying the events, and you say, hey, I want to help, I want to be a camera person, or I want to be an official, hey, we're always happy to get more people to jump on and help us out with these events, as we're always looking for people to help volunteer. So thank you guys so much. But let's start it off here. We got race number 4. Let's take a look at some views so far, Meyer, and see here who we have racing today, because very excited. Remember, so System 7 teams, they can range from 1 to 4 people, but every time that teams have teams are 4 or more, they are able to swap out those racers. So for Team Punch Nomies, we have racing today, Meyer. We have Quelstar from the U.S. We got Ludox, who's been racing throughout the entire System 7. Ludox, definitely an incredible racer, and he's been really putting his head down, and he knows what he's doing, holding on to that second place spot. He got a first place spot in race number 1 and a second place spot in race number 3. Meyer, you got any feedback or any thoughts about these 2 racers that are going to be racing today so far?
I have to say, with Ludox being the primary racer for Blackhawks, if they do win and they come out on top, as the champion of the System 7, they're basically just giving Paganini, Spartano, and Falcon like freebies here. I guess, he's going to take home the trophy, but he's going to give his friends some jerseys for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's cool to see, the duality of the System 7, with one team with, of course, with Blackhawks here with a primary racer, whereas with Punch Nomies, they've kind of shared the load with only Shugo the Lucky One not actually have raced yet. So we'll have to wait and see if maybe perhaps Shugo is going to be bringing up their links in 2 weeks' time.
Hey, that's a very good call there. We have not seen Shugo yet, but maybe this just, waiting for, that RSI Lynx rover for them to jump on and be able to get their race on. For our next team and racer that's coming up is Capcom Alpha, obviously all the way from Catalonia here in Spain. Blaucat is going to be racing today. And then Delta Dietis Racing, we have a Czech Leak who is from here from the U.S., and they're racing for Delta Dietis. And then we have Lease Motorsports, where we have J-Script again, who's going to be racing today. Meyer, any thoughts on any of these 3 teams and how they're standing right now on the leaderboard?
Well, we saw at least Motorsports do some awesome work over at the qualifiers, so it's going to be interesting to see if they're going to bring back more of that energy that we saw in the qualifiers with, of course, 3 other PTVs to rub shoulders with. I think that when it comes down to it, all our faster racers, all our faster teams that had these really, really hard times for the qualifiers, I'm just curious to see how that's going to translate to a different sort of race, Crucian.
Oh, totally. I totally agree there. And I feel like Czech League and Delta Ditus, they have something to prove, especially from last year. They definitely want to get on the podium, and right now they're sitting in that of, I believe, fourth place spot with 23 points, Meyer. So they need to, bring that up and hopefully be able to, start getting themselves aligned and hopefully get some first positioning here in these next 2 races so they can hopefully start taking that top 3 spot because I think last year they came up a few points short of 4th place, if I'm not mistaken, so they're definitely looking to get on the podium this year. But yeah, I did skip a little bit. I did skip Amarok's Fang from Anra. Anra will be racing today for Amarok's Fang, and then we have Argo Novice from team from France. Max Sane is going to be racing, and then Venture Origins number 2, we got Isotope from the U.S. here, and they're going to be racing again, taking up on that top 8 spots. But look, we have our racers already back and getting ready and lined up on the ramp. I'm excited for this one, Maya. I'm very excited for this race because when you look at the map, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of space, but when you see it now, there's a ton of space, and we're getting lined up and ready for race number 4 here of the System 7. 2954 presented by Equinox, Meyer.
That's right, Crucian. It's a very novel map. And yeah, as you mentioned, when you see the map that we showed earlier, it looked almost miniature compared to what we see right now, where it's almost as if everyone's been shrunk down. And now you can see actually how wide that opening ramp is, with enough room there for all 16 racers to be side by side as they go down. But there you can see just there at the end on turn number 1 is nothing but a sheer drop, Crucian. So yeah, all in all, I mean, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. I trust our racers, can see the hazard clearly in front of them. That being said, I do hope somebody explodes.
You and these explosions, man. Let's not put in bad juju on the racers here. But anyways, we have our next team. We got Garden Racing. TyrusWrecks is going to be racing for Garden Racing here, a team from the U.S. Star Prime Racing. We have New Life, who is also from the U.S. And then we got Novak Racing, who is from Mexico. We got Uphill Jordy, who's going to be racing for Novak Racing here. And then I believe race is about to start very, very soon. We're waiting for one more ship to get back here, and then we'll be able to kind of get this race underway. But we have Team Ivaria. Hugh Corp is going to be racing from France. We got Premier Corps Colonial, one of your favorite teams, I believe, Meyer, if I'm not mistaken. But we got Chubi 505 from France as well.
That's right, 1cc, Premier Colonial, as they say in chat all the time. Man, I love the energy they bring to it. We had an unfortunate go of it in the previous race with, I believe, them being one of the teams to DNF. However, the energy has not dwindled with 1cc support, so I'm looking forward to seeing how they do today, Crucian. All eyes are on 1cc.
Hey, 1cc, best of luck to you guys today. I know a lot of the times, they haven't been, I mean, for the first 3 races, they've got 1 point each, so I know their team, but I'm not gonna lie, even though they've only got 1 point for each race, they have been, and their team members and their community have been some of the loudest people in the chat. So I want to give some love here to the 1cc crew. They're always, yelling something out and having a good time and then rooting for their teammates. So that's awesome. That's what we like to see. That's what, that's the environment we want to create here at ATMO Esports, that people are there to help support their, their racers. But we got Wildcards Racing. We got Gilly, 22 team from United States. And we got AAWA Drunken Turtle Racing. We got Eraser, AAWA Eraser 1905, a team from Austria. This is another returning team. And then SPG Racing, we got Kebukaidesu, from Hungary. So these are the teams that are here and the people that are going to be racing today. So very excited to see this race. I think every time I see the starting line, Meyer, I get so excited and ready to go already. So
Man, it's such a cool. I'm gonna say it again. It's a really cool environment. It's one that even though I've flown around Origin like till my face went blue, like when it first got released, I haven't even seen this area up until where we had this as one of our listed tracks. And like it just goes to show like how much variety there is within the game when it comes down to just like scenes, places to go, things to do. And yeah, I cannot wait to see this race happen.
I can't wait either myself. And just want to give a big shout out too as well to our security team. We have Walkers of Sigma always protecting our skies and protecting us while we are racing. So always want to give some love and shout outs to our security team, Walkers of Sigma. So big shout out to Nargos Vaj and his team that always helping out with these events. So big shout outs to them. And give some shout out to our sponsors, man. Equinox, which is an event happening on June 1st. ATMO Esports is going to be there as well. So make sure you guys check out equinoxsc.com. If you guys are around that Columbus, Ohio area here in the U.S., ATMO Esports, at least a couple of us will be attending that event and kind of enjoying the Star Citizen community once again. Meyer, you have no idea how much I really love attending events, especially just in Star Citizen. To me, it's I attend a lot of events throughout the year, but I think that these Star Citizen events, especially Bar Citizens, are some of my favorites to attend throughout the year, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, community has always been like one of the strongest things about SC. Like way back when, like 2015 and beyond, even, when we had like the tiniest trappings of a game, the community was as strong, if not stronger, than it is now. And and that says something about this game, honestly. I've gone to conventions, quite a few of them myself as well, and yeah, nothing really quite does beat a Star Citizen get together.
Nope, I totally agree. By the way, Meyer, let's right before we begin our race here. Let's talk a little bit about, because they have already announced CitizenCon. We know it's going to be in Manchester. How are you? They're saying this is going to be the biggest CitizenCon so far. They've already passed attendance from last year. How are you feeling about CitizenCon this year?
I think that it's going to be a better one altogether because, hey, it's just next door for me, Crucian. I mean, like, it's in Manchester. But, hey, I mean, like, when it comes down to it, we are another year further in CIG's development of this game. In that letter from the chairman, they all talked about, like, that road to 1.0. So we're going to probably hear more about that. We're having Pyro this summer. So, like, who knows what they have in store to announce for the end of this year. There's been a lot of work, not only just, converting a bunch of Squadron 42 features into SC, but Squadron 42 itself now, has been feature complete since October last year. So, it'll be content complete very soon, and, the sky's the limit there. I think that we might have a very Squadron-heavy CitizenCon this year, Crucian.
Well, I mean, if we do, great. If we don't, I'm still happy. I think, a lot of people, I've seen a lot of people talk about, like, oh, if I don't get a premium ticket, I'm not going. All I'm going to say is that when you go to these events, when you go to these conventions, it's all about spending time. If you're a creator, go spend time with your community. If you're, just somebody from the community member, go with some friends. If you go by yourself, I don't feel like, it's going to be boring. You want to be out there with your friends, with the people that you play Star Citizen with, and these are the people that you want to be hanging out with and say, hey, I'm going to take this chance to go to CitizenCon and meet the people that I just, love playing the game with every single day. And I promise you, you will have a good time regardless of what ticket you get. You will be able to always see devs walking around the show floor, be able to talk to them. You don't need a special ticket, or you don't need anything in order to kind of enjoy yourself and enjoy your time at CitizenCon. So I really, obviously, ATMO Esports is going to be there as well. Not sure exactly what we're doing this year again, but we are excited to just, be there and be in the presence of the community once again. I think it's going to be a great one.
That's right. I mean, again, CitizenCon is one of those things where the experience isn't necessarily just from the panels. It's not from, like the surround sound blasting in your face with Jared on stage. It's about everything else around it as well. I mean, like just this last CitizenCon with ATMO, I mean, they treated us well because we were casting, Francie and I, but at the same time, we got to meet all the pit crew. We got to, hang out with citizens. I believe Space Tomato was celebrating his birthday, and so there was a big get-together outside as well. It was just, it was the SC community, and that's really what it's about. You can watch the presentations. In fact, I'm pretty sure some people did watch the presentations on stream on their phones while just hanging out outside. I mean, that's just kind of what the vibe is, to meet your org mates, to make new friends and that kind of stuff as well. It's just vibes, man.
No, 100%, and I feel like that is the exact same way. A lot of people are doing, I didn't watch any of the panels, obviously, like you mentioned, Meyer. We were out there casting, but what made me happy is that I could easily just go back home, and while I was working, was able to catch up on all of the panels and not miss a beat because, I did get to watch the last part of CitizenCon where they did the announcements, but I was able to catch up on everything and watch the panels once I got home, and I was able to just spend time with the ATMO Esports team and the rest of the guys. So it was just a great experience. But ladies and gentlemen, race number 4 should be up here very, very soon and should be ready for you guys. So we're just getting a few more racers ready to get lined up. So all I want to hear in chat right now, even though I can't see it, I want to know which team you're rooting for to win this race number 4 here today in the System 7 2954 presented by Equinox. Let's hear you. Let's see who you're rooting for. Let's get those chants in chat underway.
That's right. Let's get some energy in chat for your favorite teams. I see Elise Motorsports representation in the chat right now. But yes, we are currently getting things underway, and we should be going very soon. Crucian, this track, the roads and stuff that make up this track really do make me hope for the future of the game when we actually get proper roads as well, like, Planet Side and that kind of thing as well. We've had River Tech, with the devs working hard on the rivers to make sure that, they work and they look like rivers should. But the reason I bring those up is because that exact same technology is what is going to bring roads as you would expect them to be in the planets and everything else within the game. So fingers crossed for a System 7 sometime down the line to actually utilize like proper roads and road systems within the game.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to all of it. There's a lot of people don't understand how much more there is left to put inside of Star Citizen. There's so much more that still needs to go in. Those outposts that they've already worked on that is supposed to go on Daymar. There's just so much more that we're gonna be able to see. Like, can you imagine racing the Daymar Rally one day and being able to take a route through a cave? Is absolutely mind-blowing to understand that you can have. Obviously you have to go in the direction of, the race, but can you imagine that one day, it's going to become one of those, it's going to become one of those races where you have to fend off, NPCs, or you have to fend off, maybe animals that are chasing down, while you're racing, or you're able to take, a different path and, maybe cut a few kilometers going through a cave on Daymar. So there's so much more that all of the planets and all of the moons need to be able to, get put in. So I'm very excited for what's to come. And I know that once we get, all of the systems established, a lot of this stuff is going to come very quickly. Like Meyer, did you expect for animals to even be out this soon?
I'll level with you. No, actually. They kind of came out of left field for 323. All of a sudden, that entire build was just like this magic thing that had so much coming. Not only just, of course, these Squadron 42 elements, but also just, the Copions and the Marocs, the cat dogs and the turbo pelicans. To be fair, I'm looking forward to seeing how things like these critters and creatures will affect things like racing. You're gonna have to look left and right before you cross a road and that kind of thing, because you might hit like a space deer,
A space deer. Oh, man. Well, I mean, if you do hit him, just put him in the back of the truck and take him for a nice fire pit. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Somebody's gonna chew me out on that. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Even though we only got a couple different, organic elements in the game. I'm just excited that we have something right. They
Yeah.
they put in something that looks like Toucan Sam from the Fruit Loop box, and then you have a dog with 4 different eyes, which I thought it was cool. So shout outs to them. So I just can't wait to to see how all the stuff that we're doing as ATMO Esports within the game is going to evolve as they keep putting these things like like you mentioned, roads, more bodies of water, right? Like how Gravlev works across like the water tech that they showed, Meyer. I was
Oh,
absolutely mind
yeah.
blown by that because imagine having a Gravlev race and you're just pretty much getting wave splash throughout the entire race if you're behind somebody.
Yeah, I mean, again, when it comes to tech, the sky is the limit with this game. And, like when it comes down to their core technologies, I mean, most of that is now through. We're just waiting on things like, again, server meshing and other stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, engineering is, again, something I brought up earlier, with a test currently in the PTU using the A2s. I look forward to seeing, when you have things like the PTV that these drivers are in right now, there's a whole co-pilot seat that has a screen and everything else as well. The Cyclones have this too. What's supposed to be happening over there? I mean, like obviously with things like the Cyclone, the Cyclone RC, it has like an afterburner, but like for all these other vehicles, maybe perhaps you can have a co-pilot, like eking out some more performance. Obviously, that's just theory crafting, but when it comes down to, I'm just looking forward to seeing what they do next, Crucian.
Yep, waiting here. So we're just waiting for the other ship to kind of get here so we can get the rest of the racers and be able to be ready to go for race number 4. And quickly, once race number 4 ends, we're going to be switching over to um, the uh, the BTR track in Orison, so in the Vision Center. So very excited to be looking into that. But Meyer, I just want to say that all of our tracks and races are normally put on SCR.GG. SCR.GG, we work very close with Diplomat, and they do a great job at making sure that all of our tracks are on there. So if you want to be able to do some time trials on your own on some of these tracks by yourself, you're able to get that top, how do I say that top world time trial, and they have a whole leaderboard. So if you guys haven't checked out scr.gg, make sure you guys go ahead and do so. There are also tracks that we've had in the past that are also on scr.gg. So there's time trials for a lot of different things. So make sure you guys check it out, man. It's a great platform. And we should have, that's who we're going to be using our leaderboard today as well. So let's get the leaderboard on the screen so we can go ahead and make sure that we explain to the viewers what they should be seeing here today. So so the leaderboard pretty much is going to break down who's going to be in these different spots, who's going to be in first, second, third, fourth place, all the way down to 16th place. And then you're going to have that race time. I believe each lap should be around, it's going to be around 10 to 12 minutes, Meyer. So, yeah, and I think it's going to be, no, it should be a little bit shorter now that the SCV is a lot faster on flat ground. But I think each lap, I think it was estimated around 8 to 10 minutes. So this should be a pretty interesting race today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they cut this track in general. And, as you mentioned, every single racetrack that you guys see here are made by the community for the community. And of course, CIG themselves have adopted them and, have dressed up some of these tracks like the Snake Pit. However, if you do want to compete with your fellow racers, if you want to join the racing community, of course you can join Atmo's very own Discord. However, you can also check out SCR too, so you can post your times and see what it is you have to beat. You can learn these tracks, you can join the racing community at its core as well. There are no barriers to entry as long as you have a game package.
Yep, that's pretty much all you need, and you should be on the way, ready to go. So I just want to wish, I think our next ship is coming here, so we should almost have our racers in and then get this race on the way. But I just want to say good luck to all the racers today. This should be a very exciting race of 10 laps, Meyer. So 10 laps around here, it should, it should be a very, very good race. So if all of our teams don't fly off the platform as you're mentioning, we should have a pretty tight race today.
Yeah, I mean, a race of 10 laps around this place, I mean, it shouldn't be a Herculean effort, but at the same time, I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes, especially when it comes down to that central sector of the track. Because, of course, if we do have any stragglers, anybody who's a bit slow, somebody who's spun out, got a fishtail, and had to like get back into the track, they might actually be racing at some points facing the race leaders. Obviously, like nobody wants to necessarily bump into each other intentionally, but yeah, this track is a very interesting one. Croncy brought up a whole bunch of really interesting points 2 weeks ago when it came down to it. But hopefully we get some light and we get to see this thing and get to see what our races are made of, Crucian.
Yeah, I know. Even though that is a little bit dark here during this this platform here in the Providence, I'm still very excited regardless because it doesn't feel like it's there needs to be light to make this look interesting. Like it's giving this like industrial vibe, especially in this camera that Enigmatic is currently just kind of like panning very well here. But it's just giving that like that very intense vibe for this race to start very very soon. So I'm definitely looking forward to it right now, Meyer.
That's right. It is on the Providence platform, so industrial is what's for breakfast. And yeah, I mean, like, kudos again to Enigmatic and the rest of our camera team here for all these awesome cinematic shots. I need to speak to them to ask them how exactly do they do that, because these are like marketing quality, man. Like these are CIG should be paying for for such awesome shots of their game. But yeah, like I can't wait to get this race underway, Crucian.
Yep. Well, all right. We should be getting this race done soon, but we're gonna during this time we should be back here with all the racers. I believe they're on the way, currently in their ship. But before we do that and get the race on the way, we will be taking a quick break. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen that are currently waiting, we do apologize, but we should get this race started after the break. We appreciate you guys sticking around with us, and we'll be right back very, very soon. All right, and we are back here, and we should be almost ready. I believe we have the rest of our racers already offloaded, and we should be starting here very shortly with our countdown. So I believe we're seeing everybody lined up, nice and nice and straight, and hopefully getting this ready to go, Meyer.
Yeah, look at that. It's quite the spectacle seeing all the STVs like this. You know, like are they doing that intentionally? Like, look at their lights; they're glistening. Like it's like they're twinkling like stars. But I think they're just like flashing their headlights like in unison. It's pretty crazy to see. But yeah, like we're almost there, Crucian, and I think it's gonna be a cool race.
Yeah, this is a special effect just for us for today's race, you know. Oh. But yes, I am ready to get this on the way, just like everybody else in chat. But I see a lot of teams right now cheering for Nova Corp, Argo. We got List Motorsports, so or Lease, sorry, maybe List or Lease. But hey, I'm ready to roll, man. I'm ready to roll. So as soon as we can get this countdown ready, this ramp is looking nice and filled up. And by the way, how come we only see one skin? Come on, racers.
Something is very interesting about this because in our previous race, then again, it was with the Cyclone RCs, quite a few people, in fact, our race winners, our first and second place race winners all had skins. This time around, where's the STV love? I don't know. I know the STV has quite a few skins. What's going on, racers? We have to find out who...
Yeah. I think we'll have to start giving away skins with the prizes right now, Meyer.
Yeah, I was gonna say we have to find out who actually has that skin because eyes are on them because they might be the one who wins. I don't know. It's the skin factor.
I mean, you never know, man. Especially if you have that orange and yellow skin on the STV, you already know that that's gonna give you that extra ATMO special boost during the race. By the way, so hey, it's important. It's important.
Oh man, that's right. Look at these shots. I can't get enough of it. It's ridiculous.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are about almost ready here very shortly. So as soon as we get a countdown, we will let you guys know when the race is going to start. But very excited for this. I hope you guys are excited for race number 4 here. Cargo Crisis coming up very shortly. I believe we're almost there. We are
That's
just
right, Cargo Crisis.
Yep. Cargo Crisis, do not fall off. That's all I'm going to say. We are looking like we're almost ready. And we should have, everybody's looking good so far. We should, once the race starts, you should be able to see that leaderboard on your top left where you'll be able to continue tracking who's in first, second, and third. So if you don't see from our views that you're seeing who we're following, you still should be able to see who's leading the pack right above on that top left where that leaderboard is going to be at. So
I have in my mind, Crucian, like it's called Cargo Crisis. We have to see who gets the box to the front. I mean, like someone's package is getting lost, that's for sure.
Someone's package is getting lost. I mean, other than the first turn, Meyer, we talked about this track already a little bit, but other than the first turn, remember, you have that crisscross where you have to go in between those cargo trailers in order to get across and onto your other lap. So, there could be incoming traffic if people are going a little bit too slow. there could be a lot of different scenarios if people don't watch out on how they're racing and where they're going in between that crisscross section, where it could really put somebody out during the race. So, but excited to see how this one comes up. But I mean, we see some different skins there. We see a blacked out one, some of the white and orange. So, I mean, we got some variety. I'm pretty happy with this.
We got a few, yeah, for sure.
So what's going to happen here? We're going to get a countdown. You're seeing the ship right in front of the racers. Once the countdown is ready and we're ready to go, that ship will lift off, and then it will begin the start of the race. So everybody that's here watching, again, make sure you're rooting for that team that you want to come out on top, and hopefully we can see some new teams put some points on the leaderboard today.
That's right.
So,
and I'm just looking at the track map, because obviously we talked about turn 1, and that's going to be what everybody's eyes are going to be on. But beyond turn 1, and you can now see it here on this view, but that satellite deck there, that little docking area just by the edge on the right-hand side, the racers have to go around that counterclockwise and then make a really sharp hairpin turn back inside and into the main shipyard. So in fact, it's a double hairpin going towards the east and then back inside the shipyard. So there are quite a few technically heavy areas within this track where perhaps maybe we might either see some collisions, Crucian, or just B, just like see who has complete and total mastery of the PTV or the STV even.
I mean, it is a STV PTV day today, so it's easily okay to get confused here, but hey, we should be good here. But I think there's also another platform towards the back where you could possibly fall off as well. So there's a couple spots here where if you're not careful, you haven't practiced enough, you could be taking it to the gas giant and you're going to be out of there. So like you said, out with the space whales. So let's see if our racers are ready, and we should be getting a countdown here shortly, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
And right now, standing on the leaderboard, I'll go over this really, really quickly. We have Punch Nomies leading with 51 points. We got Blackhawks with 44 points. Capcom Alpha with 32 points. Delta Dietis with 23. Amrox Fang with 22. Lease Motorsport with 14. And Argo Novice with 14. So we have a pretty, like I said, a lot of these teams can easily land on that first place spot and skyrocket all the way up to that top 3 in any of today's races. So all I'm going to say is that, Punch Nomies, if they keep coming out on that first place spot, they are going to get a little bit ways away from the rest of the pack, and then they can definitely solidify a very good positioning heading into race number 6. But I feel like with these 2 races, I think a lot of more of the teams may have a little bit more control, and I feel like they should be able to, to give some competition versus Punch Nomi's Quellstar, and then in race 5, I think you have Herbie there. So
that's right. It's going to be a really cool race to watch, and of course, with 10 laps, we're going to have all the time in the world to actually see, which one of these really fast races are going to pull away. Because again, we have so many fast racers, so many consistent racers. I mean, obviously, we've seen Punch Nomis pull ahead time and time again, but surely it can't be for every single track, Crucian.
Yep. Well, here it comes. The timer is counting down now. We will count it down for you guys from 10. But race is about to begin here in less than 30 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. So thank you guys so much for hanging on there with us and your patience. But race number 4 of System 7, 2954 Cargo Crisis, presented by Equinox, is about to begin.
All right.
I'm going to stay here, very quiet here for this. I can't wait to see this downhill stretch, but here we go, Meyer, in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! Ladies and gentlemen, race number 4 has begun, and down the stretch already, we're seeing a lot of those nose dips, but seeing some leaders already in that first left turn, Meyer.
That's right, that motion blur really making the racers look like they're going even faster than they are. But look at this ridiculous collision happening towards the base of the ramp. That's going to be heartbreak for those racers, but we'll see if they can make some headway going through. That's, of course, that drop down towards the abyss that is Crusader. It looks like not one of our racers are going to be falling down through there. And here is, of course, that first hairpin turn, Crucian, up and around the satellite. And so far, so good. It looks like, oh, look at that. The lime car hit the wall. And what did I say? This is going to be a test of our racers' agility as they go around. We have a pack leading still 3 racers up and around this next hairpin and into the track proper, Crucian.
Oh, here we go. They need to get into that turn. Those turns are sharp, and here we go. We're going into this crisscross alley, so these 3 teams can be so ahead and come back into that crisscross alley and be able to possibly headbutt someone. So they need to be careful. Here we go. They need to be able to take this right, and this is where practice space perfect here, Meyer. And once they take that right, they're taking this sharp left, and around the cargoes they go. This race, man, is already... Oh, we got somebody taken up on that third place spot. It's moving up fairly quickly. Meyer, I am loving the smooth surface here for the STV because it's making people understand how much this vehicle can easily drift around.
That's right, and it's called Crisscross Alley for a reason, as when the races return down the eastern side of the track, they're going to have to make their way through. And oh no, look at that! Somebody tried to take the corner way too tight, and they're going to pay for it and say hello to the Space Whales. That is our first contestant off the track, and that wasn't even the hazard that I was looking for, Crucian, but there you go. Everybody wave bye-bye!
Oh man, seeing somebody fall off that, it goes Capcom Alpha, who's currently holding on to that third place spot. That is unfortunate to see in Capcom Alpha taking that down, but our first lap is going to be uphill. Jordy, Novak Racing really putting in that speed in so far in today's race. Race number 4, Lease Motorsports coming in second. And man, this race is looking really good, really tight so far. Delta Diatus in third, Meyer. It's unfortunate to see Capcom Alpha, fly off the map there, but that's tough. That's tough.
That's right. It is super unfortunate for Catcom. However, with Novak and Lease Motorsports in first and second at the moment for lap 2, that is going to be quite the thing for them because they have, I believe, 7 or so points at the moment. And again, Crucial, we did mention that these next 2 Grey Cat races with the STV and the PTV are going to be clutch. They're going to be critical for our races to try and be competitive and make their way up to race 7 with enough points to hit podium.
Yep, right now the team's doing a great job. I see the racers, Novak Racing, keeping that lead as far as he can, but he has Lease Motorsports, he has Delta Dialis Racing, and Blackhawks right behind him. So these teams need to be, I'm telling you, picture perfect going into these next few laps. There is a total of 10 laps. I believe we're seeing about a 2-minute or 2.5-minute lap or so. I don't know why I said 8 to 12. I'm thinking about something else, but these laps are going pretty fast with the STV. But let's see if Novak Racing can continue to keep that lead as much as possible. But remember, that turn right there, Meyer, they need to have their eyes on it because if you take that turn or you try to take it too sharp, you're going to fall up just like Capcom Alpha did.
That's right. And again, in the return, there is yet another drop in the same way. And honestly, when we saw Novak Racing and Blackhawks make their way through that first the drop turn, I had to hold my breath because it was so close for Blackhawks. They caught it in such an angle that they didn't move, but they glided over that pit. It was a matter of time before someone was going to fall through, and it looks like Eva Ria has lost Hukrop, who may have fallen down somewhere as well, but that is now uphill Jordy coming through for lap number 3 here with a new fastest time of 1 minute and 30 seconds.
I mean, this race so far for Novak Racing, uphill Jordy doing a great job at keeping that lead and staying way ahead of the pack. You have Ludox from Blackhawks right behind them, but hey, look at this so far. Quelsar all the way in 6th place here for Punch Nomies. Will it be able to kind of keep up and come back on that? But it right now is looking at that top 5 is pretty solidified. So if Novak Racing can do a great job and keep this first place, that will put him in a great spot leading up to race number 5 here for the System 7. This race so far is already heated underway in lap number 3 with 7 more laps to go, Meyer.
That's right, Crucian. Now it looks like we had Premier Colonial there up in second for a second there, but it looks like now looking at the race tracker, we've got Novak in first, Blackhawks in second, and Delta Dietis in third. This is a better view for us right now. As you can see, Ludox in second place from Blackhawk, right behind with Czech Leak and J-Script in third and fourth, coming in a little bit slower here as they make their way down Crisscross Alley. And it looks like within this lap, Crucian, we might see our first crossover in Crisscross Alley if, of course, Kebukai Des and Eraser make their way through at the pace they are right now.
Wow, another drop here. Max Zane, another racer is from Argo Novice is obviously out. You need to be able, what I love about this track, Meyer, is that with these STVs, you're getting a lot of that slide. You're getting a lot of that slip, and no, that is a collision there. Man, that is a tough one. I really hope that wasn't Novak Racing and Blackhawks jumping out there, but it seems like there has been a position shift here, and I think Blackhawks may have come out on top on that one and may have taken that first place spot. We'll get an update on the leaderboard here very, very shortly, but man, these two racers right now, Novak Racing and Blackhawks, are really fighting for that first place spot right now, Meyer.
It looks like somebody crashed into the divider of the Crisscross Alley here, but we can see Kelsar, Czech League, and Anril all fighting for position here, Crucian, as they make their way into lap number 4.
Yeah, this one is definitely not an easy race for any of these racers, but it seems like we have Novak Racing and Blackhawks still on there. There's so much going on right now, Meyer. This track, you need to be, I'm telling you, with this track, you need to be on point. If not, anything could happen, and you could lose yourself. You could be confused on where you're going. So this is a track where you need to definitely have that practice.
That's right. Thankfully, we have a track cam up here so we can see what's going from a bird's eye view, Crucian. And it looks like, for the time being, Uphill Jordy should still be in the lead here. The explosion we saw before was, as per one of our cameras, in, I believe, one of our tracking ships. So thankfully, no racers have exploded just yet, Crucian, but that is that turn. Look at this thing here. Look how sharp, look how tight they take this thing. You know, like it's, I think we just saw a flash from the side, but obviously we can't have a look at that. But this is one of those angles here, Crucian, that really, again, and we just saw it time and time again just now. You take it just the wrong way and you're falling right out of the track.
Yeah, right now you see Novak Racing, who led for 3 laps so far, dropping all the way down to 9th and 10th place. Not sure what's going on there, but maybe it's just maybe it's just a mistake as they're working to get things on top of the leaderboard ready to go. But it's showing that ICC Juby is in first place and Novak Racing is right behind him. So that might be a mistake, but I think that placements are still currently just about equal. But you see Ludox and Uphill Jordy, so I believe Blackhawks is in that.
Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday, everybody.
Take a dozen, leave 3 for spare.
There's 12 of us.
We are still doing some setup. Org leaders are still getting things together.
Everyone, please set your spawn. You don't have that.
I'll go double check.
So I was thinking, I mean, I think
here.
the best approach would be to have, the first 2 dragonflies on site stay on and, like, provide cover.
I'll explain
while the
things
others
once
disembark.
this gets finished.
Like,
Oh,
not
sure.
go in the ship, but just right at the door, just shoot and provide covering fire to keep their heads down while with the boarders disembark.
I don't think
Very good.
All
right.
Yeah, again,
So-
all this in my mind is, prep for the real thing. So,
You're preparing-
I'd rather treat it like an
can hear it.
interest than upload an M2, if that makes sense.
Alright, so we're gonna have 2 M2s, attackers, defenders. The defender is going to be pretending to be an Idris,
M2
and we
you can
are
get any extra or-
going to
Oh
be
god, I just glitched through the wall.
approaching it with dragonflies.
Will the defending team have different armor?
I'm totally...
Yeah, we're to be in
See
org
what
armor, they're to
weapon.
be in whatever.
The hangar 2 or 12?
10.
10. Jesus.
Neither.
Well, I was way off.
You take the 12, minus 2, and you got it.
Alright.
Oh, there you go. I've got a
Now the
P4 there.
curses start getting thrown out. Who's got
I need to
secret
hurry
pilot
up and get.
Palace.
Alright, Bella.
My flight
Come
armor
on.
too.
If you don't mind being our pilot.
Yeah, all good.
At least,
Alright.
at least for one round.
Yeah.
I've got to get to.
I had a feeling you.
Hey, Nevathon, how you doing, dude?
Can I
Looks like
shoot
Friday's a
your,
good
We can lower the
org event day.
Can you shoot what now?
can we
Fallout
shoot
4.
the-
Yeah, I was playing some Fallout 4
Not intended for any ship combat
yesterday?
this evening. Now,
a different
what
mod
would
pack,
be
but I
cool,
think I
though,
like the
is
mod
if
pack
you
I've been streaming with.
fire near everyone, in the sky, just to kind of provide that ambiance.
Yeah.
Balton, I'll have you do the same. So don't aim to hit anybody, but
Across his nose, not up it.
try to start a light show kind of thing.
And I got lights.
Okay, Ava, I was about to say you don't have a helmet.
Oh, I do on my screen.
Just
Oh, you do
need
now.
a
You do,
P4.
right.
I don't know
Just
why
our
you
citizen
can't get it
things.
to show up.
Oh, you didn't just put it on? Interesting.
No, I've had it
Oh,
on
here we
since
go,
we got in the
finally.
lift.
Let's
Not
not
to
take off quite yet.
I'm not. I'm just charging the shields up.
Cool.
I ain't even there yet. I hope you don't take off.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have a
Shit,
party
think
marker for a couple of people,
away.
including integer.
All right.
I think my ammo should be here.
I'm gonna pop
Yeah,
down
here
and
we go.
ask Frenchie for lead back. I'll be right back.
Ah, I've been so used to 323, where
No, you're not. You 31 million clicks away.
31 gigameters.
Is the elevator on this chip glitchy like the
Don't use it in don't use it in quantum.
Whoa.
God, it's
when
been
you opened the
so
elevator,
long since I've
I just became
used this.
in the elevator.
I
You
saw
just went in the
that.
elevator?
I saw you becoming.
I was
It was some of the best becoming I've ever seen.
I was by the medical center.
If I was at an elevator, I'd be coming to.
Speaking of the medical center, gotta go back.
It's just an excuse for Tyrus to show off his fancy dragonfly paint job.
So we are flying out
I don't know what it is yet.
with this M2, and there's going to be
Saying
another
he's
one
not
out and
in the
about.
chat right now.
I am.
Oh shit!
I like my Nox paint jobs better though.
Per usual, org events are